Well, I'm going to talk about some things. Right here, you got the ATF tells Texas who's boss, so on and so forth. Let's see. Biden still pushes for David Chapman's nomination for ATF. Innocent to proven guilty. Gun license, red flags, more hidden in the budget. Let's see. White House aide says they're coming for more guns. Okay. Constitutional carry. Ban on handgun sales, so on and so forth. Gun control, gun control, gun control, gun control. Okay. I'm sorry, people. All these people that has the gun channels and puts out news on it and everything. I sure wish to live in hell you'd read the Constitution. I know you've read it, but you're really not getting the gist of it. Nowhere in the Constitution was the government ever given any ability to write firearm laws. Well, they could write them and they'd be null and void. But there is, however, a thing in the Constitution that says they are constitutionally forbidden to mess with firearms. Oh, I didn't see that, man. I didn't see that. Well, people, it's called the preamble to the Bill of Rights. Let me get over here so that you guys can see this. I'm going to go through this one last time. You better get it right. And the Supreme Court of the United States better get it right. This is the preamble to the Bill of Rights, which is part of your Constitution. They wouldn't ratify the Constitution until this stuff was put in. Okay. The Convention of a number of the states having at the time of their adopting the Constitution expressed a desire in order to prevent misconstruction or abuse of its powers that further declaratory and restrictive clauses be added. That would extend the ground of public confidence in the government. Now, this was written, the preamble, let's see, 1778. And then over here it says, in this amendment, what does it say? A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Period. They are not allowed. It's beyond the scope of powers that was delegated to Congress by our Constitution. They only have so much power, and that's in the enumerated powers. And the Commerce Clause, and the Welfare Clause, and what's that other thing? I'll think about it later. Oh, well, I know what it is. Anyway, there's nothing in the Constitution anywhere. You can't show me anywhere in the Constitution that the government has the ability to restrict firearms. It's just not there. It's not there, people. It never was. It never will be. Good Lord. The problem is, they got away with it once, and them arrogant sons of guns can think they can still do it, and under the guise of people not knowing what the heck's going on. And the Supreme Court, of all places, they didn't do their ability the first time. That's why we're in this problem today. They can't play politics. You got to either follow the Constitution or turn in your doggone ability to pass laws. When there's no justice at all, when there's no justice, all you have left is survival And that's what we're heading into. We're not going to put up with tyranny. We proved that a long time ago, 200 and some years. We're not going to put up with it. If there's no justice, then there's no laws. You've got to have the justice. And you can't have people interpreting the Constitution just any way they want so they can twist it and turn it into something it never was meant to be. These people should not be allowed to go into the Supreme Court of the United States unless they have studied the Constitution itself. But our problem's always been that after the Civil War, they didn't really study the Constitution anymore. They only studied what other judges said about the Constitution, not the Constitution itself. And as time progressed, it just got radically worse. They twisted words to mean something that it didn't mean to be. Now each one of you can read the Constitution and you can understand it. Why can't Congress? Why can't the Supreme Court? Don't go tell me, oh, I went to law school and I studied the Constitution. Did you? Or did you study what other judges said about the Constitution? Making the judge the law and not the Constitution itself. There's no place in the Constitution, anywhere, that gives the government permission. They are bound by the enumerated laws that were passed in the Constitution. And it's very limited, very, very, very limited. But they trying to twist it, well, the Commerce Clause gives us that, or the General Welfare Clause gives us that. It just ain't so, people. It don't happen that way. I'm not talking through my head when I tell you this. It's telling you the truth. You just can't let them go on and on and on like this, people. All those gun laws they passed. 1968 gun law, 1938 gun law, all your domestic violence laws, the Brady Bill, all that stuff, people, is just nonsense. It was written down. It has the color of law, but no substance to it. It has no substance whatsoever. None. Oh, Lord. Give me a second, because I'm racking my brain here, and I should know this, and I know it, but it's one of those nights that you have a brain fart. And this is one of them. Yeah. Yeah, the ATF doesn't have any doggone jurisdiction over that anyway. Everybody knows that the federal Constitution recognizes that the God-given right to keep and bear arms is to be free from any interference whatsoever from the federal government. Accordingly, the federal government is nowhere in the Constitution granted authority to abridge, restrict, or infringe in any fashion whatsoever guns or ammunition. Thus, all restrictive laws made by Congress, all regulation made by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms are constitutionally outside the scope of powers granted to Congress and to the executive branch by our Constitution. Restrictions of arms and ammunition is not one of these enumerated powers. Never was, people. Oh, I know the other clause I was thinking of. The Interstate Commerce Clause, the Commerce Clause is only to make commerce a regular thing. You know, so that everybody couldn't tax it and tariff and add more price to it as it passed through the states. The General Welfare Clause has nothing to do with firearms. And the Necessary and Proper Clause, that's only so they can execute the powers already delegated and enumerated in the Constitution. No additional substantive powers are granted by the clause. Period. Don't let these people pull the wool over your eyes. It's come to a head. Either the Supreme Court of the United States gets it right this time, or I think they should meet up with the wrath of the people. Like I said, where there's no justice, there's only survival. Thanks for listening. Do not let these people get away with this. Put them in their place. Read the Constitution. Understand it. Stand up for your rights. You got to stand up for your Constitution now before it's too weak to support you.